Disney World is super fun. Unexpected costs, not so much. Today, we're exposing the hidden Disney World costs that you're overlooking to make sure they're not going to fly under your radar anymore. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Now, as you begin or are already in the middle of creating your Disney World vacation budget, I assume you've already got the big stuff listed out, like hotel rooms and flights, dining. Maybe you've even started budgeting for extras like souvenirs and lightning lanes. And to that, I say huzzah! Wonderful to see y'all being proactive. But as you start planning and saving, there are very well maybe some hidden expenses attached to your future trip that have fallen through the cracks of your budget or costs you didn't even realize you needed to prepare for at all. And that's where we come in. We've spent a lot of extra money we weren't expecting to spend. So we're going to expose those little pricey extras that have gone undetected for way too long so that you know how to A, prepare for them, and B, avoid them entirely. First of all, those dining upcharges. Oh, the prices we pay to keep our dips and sauces steadily stocked all trip long, literally. Along with the main price for your meal, there's always the possibility that Disney's going to add that ever so compelling extra component on the menu. A lot of these are called enhancements that may not break the bank, but the more you pay for these extras during your trip, the quicker you're going to find yourself thinking, wow, dining at Disney was even more expensive than I thought it would be. So just to help you out here, I'm going to list off some of those sneaky upcharges that you'll want to save for, or you'll want to skip altogether. Though in my personal experience, I don't have the restraint to miss out on some of these. First of all, those extra dipping sauces. I am a dip girl. You know I love sauces. And some quick services and table service restaurants have sauces and dips and aiolis that'll automatically come with the price of your meal, and I love them for that. But other spots might charge you a little extra to get those additional saucy and savory flavors for your dish. For example, steakhouses like Steakhouse 71 at Contemporary and Le Cellier in Epcot, they're going to charge extra for their steak sauce accompaniments. Chicken Guy at Disney Springs gives you your first 2 signature sauces for free, depending on the entree you order, but any additional ones are going to cost you 50 cents. And my beloved plastic cheese sauce from places like Backlot Express and Hollywood Studios and Casey's Corner used to be free. Not anymore. They're going to cost you $1 extra now, but trust me when I say that glorious cup of piping hot goodness is 1,000% worth it, at least for me. Number 2, bread for the table. I know. What is happening in our lives right now, y'all, that we don't get free bread anymore? Sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. So let's talk about it. Much like Disney's various sauces and dips, free bread can come to your table at some sit-down Disney World restaurants, but other times you're expected to pay extra for it. What restaurants are actually worth paying extra for that bread? For starters, the Parker House rolls at Ale and Compass and the Yacht Club Resort, they are phenomenal, soft and cloud-like, and you get 3 decadent spreads with them, bacon jam, pub cheese, and citrus butter. It's $14 for those. The Indian-style bread service at Sanaa, that's $22, in Animal Kingdom Lodge, isn't just an appetizer, it's a full-on experience. You get 5 types of bread, including naan and kulcha, alongside 9 different accompaniments like mango chutney, tamarind sauce, and garlic pickle. My favorite thing here, by the way, is the garlic naan. It has so much butter on it. Anyway, same sort of thing for the Tiffins and Nomad Lounge signature bread service. This one's going to cost you $18 at Animal Kingdom. And the bread services do vary a little bit. They both come with 3 unique breads with a variety of equally as unique dipping accompaniments. And finally, over at Skipper Canteen in Magic Kingdom, the secret menu, pão de queijo, aka the Brazilian cheese bread, is one of our all-time favorite appetizers that's light and packed with cheesy goodness and served with a side of chimichurri, but that's going to cost you as well. Now, if you're going to a signature restaurant, like, I don't know, I was just at Jico a couple weeks ago, and they bring out free bread there, a giraffe bread, which is very fun. It's reticulated. You want to look that up. I learned it on Kilimanjaro safaris. But at the signature restaurants, you're going to get free bread, but that's about the only place you're going to get free bread these days, y'all. Ah, yes, here's that word, enhancements. Consider these enhancement options that you'll find on various Disney menus. They're like an elevated extra side option to go along with your meal. You're not going to find enhancements everywhere, but here are a few of the more noteworthy ones. Again, this is usually going to be at those signature restaurants. So they give you free bread, but you have to pay extra for the extras. So at Hollywood Brown Derby and Hollywood Studios, you can order crispy haricot vert served with a truffle oil and citrus aioli. It's very, very good, but it's an extra $10. And also on the enhancement menu, the cheesy cheddar au gratin potatoes and the braised wild mushrooms with truffle butter, both an extra $12. At Space 220 in Epcot, you got these satellite sides that'll cost you an extra $9 per side on top of the prefix price you're already paying for your meal. These options include things like truffled herb parmesan fries, chili garlic broccolini, and caramelized Brussels sprouts with balsamic parmesan. And over at Narcoossee's outside Grand Floridian Resort, those enhancements are going to cost you almost as much as an entree. The charbroiled Gulf shrimp is $15, the plancha seared scallops are $21, and the butter poached lobster tail, that's what you're going to often see on enhancement menus in these fancy restaurants, is a whopping $31. So budgeting for your Disney World vacation can make your brain hurt, but we want to help streamline things for you as much as we can on the other side of your computer or TV or phone screen. So if you scan the QR code you see right now or click on the link in the description for disneyfoodblog.com/DisneyPlans, we're going to send over our free Disney World planning worksheets, which have places for you to budget and add reservations, plan your day-by-day itineraries, and keep all the other details of your upcoming trip safe and sound in these easy-to-fill-out forms. Plus, we're going to tell you about some other sneaky hidden costs that you're going to want to remember to budget for. And we'll give you some savings tips to put in your back pocket as well. Oh, and did I mention this is free? Yeah, no hidden costs here. disneyfoodblog.com/DisneyPlans. Okay, moving on to those hidden costs. Drinks plus. Let's call this point Dining Upcharges 2.0, because if I'm going to be paying extra for 100% of my meals, it's because I'm a soda goblin and I've got to have my Diet Coke fix, right? Coffees, sodas, mocktails, even bottles of water, all going to cost you extra per meal unless you're using a Disney dining plan. I'm going to talk more about that later. And I don't really need to tell you that, nor do you probably believe that's a hidden cost of any sort, but let's think of it this way. Let's say you're spending 5 days in the Disney bubble and you plan on ordering a soft drink or other mocktail-like beverage along with 2 meals per day. Drinks are going to cost you about $5 to $7 per beverage, and not all of them are going to have free refills attached either, something else to think about. Don't worry about you soda goblins, you're going to have free refills most of the time. So if I'm paying $5 to $7 per drink for at least 2 meals per each day of my trip, I could easily be paying an extra $50 to $70 just to satisfy my soda addiction alone inside of getting the free cups of water that are available. And if I want to get an alcoholic beverage, then we're talking $15 to $20 per drink, or even more than that if you want it served in a souvenir cup or with a cute little novelty glow cube or rubber ducky or whatever. Y'all, have you seen the price tags for those souvenir cups at lounges like Beacon Barrel at Magic Kingdom or Trader Sam's at Polynesian? Those souvenir cups and the alcohol served in them could have paid for a really nice meal for like 2 people. But I guess the trade-off here is that you get to keep the cup, so at least there's that. Anyway, if you want to save money on drinks, then water's going to be your best friend. Not the Parks Dasani bottled water or the smart water, the quick services and table services free water. You can also often find freshwater containers at locations like Spice Road Table inside Epcot or water bottle refill spots in several areas around the parks, which you can track down on your My Disney Experience app. And while I highly encourage y'all to take advantage of these free water spots because you need to stay hydrated all trip long, I also understand that water isn't always going to hit like a sweet fizzy pop. That's why I often stock up on my Diet Coke bottles before my trip begins by ordering a case from like Kroger Delivery and having it sent to my hotel's Bell Services desk for me to pick up whenever I get the chance. And I'll be honest, I actually ordered Diet Pepsi because a 6-pack of Pepsi from Kroger is going to cost me the same amount as 1 Diet Coke from 1 Disney World restaurant. You might also want to consider sprucing up your free cups of water by bringing drink flavor packets from home, or maybe some of that electrolyte situation like Liquid IV. That way you can stay extra hydrated during the day. Some of our DFBT members have also been using those circle bottles recently that you can fill up with water like a regular bottle, but the really cool thing about it is that the lid can be loaded with your choice of flavor cartridge that can make your water as powerfully flavorful or as subtle as you want it to be with just the turn of a dial. They even have tea, soda, and coffee flavor cartridges too. Okay, I think this one gets a lot of folks. Right as you walk into your first park, you might have to fork over the extra dough for one or a few things that you'll absolutely need before making a beeline to the nearest ride line. And these rentals can add up fast. Stroller rentals range in price between $13 and $31 per day. Depends on whether you pay the daily price for a stroller stroller, or you bite the bullet and get the multi-day option where you'll be able to grab a stroller rental during the full length of your stay. It's a pretty good deal. Locker rentals, located at the front of each park, range in price between $10 and $15 per day, depending on the size of the locker. ECV rentals cost $65 per day, and wheelchair rentals range from $10 to $12 per day. Again, depending on if you pay for the daily or length of stay / multi-day price. Also, don't forget that those ECV and wheelchair prices also come with a refundable deposit, so you'll have to pay more to rent them initially, but as long as they're returned safe and sound, you'll get your deposit back. Your refundable deposit will be $20 in the parks and $100 at Disney Springs and the water parks. Again, you may not need any of these services, but on the off chance you do, let me try to help you cut down on those daily costs. When it comes to a stroller, ECV, and wheelchair rentals, you may want to turn to a reliable third-party rental company instead. Scooterbug right now is Disney's featured provider. Whether or not these strollers or ECVs will actually be cheaper or not depends on where you're renting and what you're renting. But they can still be a more nifty option because you get to keep these strollers and ECVs for your whole trip instead of having to return them to the front of the parks each time you leave. For all my stroller families out there, another good option for saving some money if you're unable to bring your own from home is to buy a cheapy umbrella stroller from a grocery delivery service when you first get to your resort. Yep, Kroger Delivery can deliver more than just snacks. But then before you leave to head back to the airport, you can always pass that stroller on to another family who's just arriving for their vacation to spread the love and the savings. Now, as far as locker rentals go, you may be able to avoid that expense entirely just with a little extra planning. Try holding off on big souvenir purchases until closer to the end of your park date so you don't have to store them and you can just carry them back to the hotel with you. Also, consider bringing a larger backpack to tote around instead of a small purse or fanny pack. I'm not talking about a humongo backpack that's going to break your back, but one that's got plenty of space to store those extra items like snacks, extra change of clothes, sunscreen, I don't know, your shoelace. Now, our DFB reporters have been way into carrying around bags like the High Sierra, which has a spot for everything, including a handy outer carabiner to hook your ears or your popcorn bucket. There's a dual compartment backpack cooler that can also be a great choice if you're looking to store park essentials and keep your food and drinks cool that you decide to bring instead of paying for yet another pricey Disney meal. Or for all you parents out there, diaper bags with easy on and off stroller straps. Plus, built-in changing stations to provide an extra barrier in the bathrooms can be a lifesaver, not just for your wallet, but for your sanity too. So there are tons of hardworking cast members on the Disney World scene that you're going to want to thank with much deserved tips during your time on property. But you need to remember to save for those gratuities ahead of time, just like everything else. Also, that's why it's a good idea to still bring cash with you during your trip instead of just using your credit or debit card the whole time. Well, there are a few different reasons to bring cash, but this reason in particular is towards the top of my list. Along with your restaurant servers, you're also going to want to remember to tip bartenders, valet, bell service cast members, and your hotel room housekeepers. When it comes to gratuities, it's totally up to your discretion on how much you want to tip these folks. But if you're maybe looking for a ballpark number, I'd say 20 to 22% of whatever your total bill is for a meal or bar drinks. For situations where service is being done for you that doesn't cost anything extra, like housekeeping and bell services, $5 plus is a good amount to start with, or $1 per bag. Over at valet, I usually do $2 to $5. Now, let me turn your attention real quick to the Disney dining plan. Promise there's a reason, just stick with me for a minute. Okay, if you're already looking into adding the Disney dining plan onto your trip, then I don't have to tell you how pricey this one can be. You're more than likely already well aware that you're going to have to sacrifice a piggy bank or two in order to prepay for all your trip's meals on top of your vacation package price tag. Unless you're traveling during a time of the year when the Disney dining plan is free for certain guests, but you can learn about those types of noteworthy promotions by visiting Disney World's special offers page or by signing up for our newsletter, because you know we're going to shout it loud and clear anytime you can get free food in Disney World. But I digress. The point isn't about hidden discounts, though that'd be a good video topic for another day. This is about hidden costs. And even if you've already dropped all that money on the Disney dining plan, your dining credits might not cover everything, especially if you're using the standard plan's table service credits. When you pay for a standard Disney dining plan, you're going to be getting the following to use per day per person in your group. 1 table service entree, dessert, lunch and dinner only, or full buffet. Your meal will also come with a non-alcoholic beverage or an alcoholic beverage for guests 21 and over. 1 quick service meal, including an entree or combo meal. Same rules apply. You can also get a non-alcoholic or alcoholic beverage of your choosing as long as it's Disney Dining Plan eligible. 1 snack or non-alcoholic drink credit and 1 resort refillable mug per person, per package. See what's not included in that? Well, for starters, you're definitely missing a meal if you're a 3 square meals a day sort of person, though you can always use one of your snack credits to grab a pastry-like item from a quick service or a snack kiosk and call it good. But another thing that is definitively not included is gratuities and tipping. In some cases, you'll need to plan on tipping your server based on the amount of your meal, 20 to 22%, though again, it might still be up to your discretion. However, there might also be some Disney World restaurants that tack on automatic gratuity, again, not covered by your Disney Dining Plan credits, which is a more common occurrence if you're dining in a group of 6 or more guests. More often than not, that automatic gratuity will be 18%, but you're always more than welcome to tack on anything extra if you feel as if your server went above and beyond. And since this is Disney we're talking about here, it's more than likely that they are going to go above and beyond. And if you're paying for the quick service Disney Dining Plan, don't worry about these additional gratuities unless you're still planning on making reservations for at least 1 table service and just paying out of pocket for it. In general, even if you're not paying for a Disney Dining Plan whatsoever, tipping is customary in the States, so just make sure you crunch those restaurant numbers ahead of time and save the amount you think you're going to need. It's always good to budget more than what you think you're going to need, just so you've got that safety net to fall back on. Okay, has this ever happened to you? Let's say you're traveling and you stop at, Buc-ee's. You've always heard that the beaver nuggets are a must try, though I'm more of a sour cherry ball girl myself. So if you decide to give them a go, and wouldn't you know, you fall in love with them too. And so the next Buc-ee's stop you make, you pick up another beaver nugget package, and then you get another and another. I hope you're getting the chocolate covered ones because those are the best ones. And suddenly you find yourself trapped in a beaver nugget spiral where the card just takes on a mind of its own. And whenever you're near the next Buc-ee's exit, even if you don't need gas or to go to the bathroom, you know that you need the beaver nuggets before you can move on. That's how I feel about Disney World snacks sometimes. Not just sometimes, a lot of the time. Like, yes, I already got a pineapple Dole Whip at Aloha Isle in Magic Kingdom, but am I going to go grab one later at the Pineapple Lanai when I take the monorail over to the Polynesian Village Resort that same evening? Or maybe even earlier than that if I want a flavored Dole Whip served as a soda float from Magic Kingdom Sunshine Tree Terrace? Yes, I probably will. I will order Dole Whip over and over and over again until they drag me off property for crimes against eating your weight in Dole Whip. That's not an actual thing, right? Okay. What I'm saying is that you might budget back for a certain Disney World treat once, but end up loving it so much that you have to go back and order it multiple times before the end of your trip, just because you don't know when you're going to get it again, if ever. Am I the only one who has this problem? Please don't tell me that if it's true. So, much like having a little bit of a safety net budget for extra gratuity expenses, have maybe an extra 20 to 30 bucks saved for repeat offender snacks that you just can't get enough of, or you want to buy a bunch to bring them home and give as gifts. Falling head over heels for a Disney World snack is a glorious, albeit dangerous game, but we at least try to give you the cheat codes for this game by reviewing all the Disney World snacks and then adding them to our DFB snack guides, which are located over at dfbstore.com. That way, there's no extra guesswork when it comes to finding your Disney snack match made in heaven, which means you don't have to spend extra on snacks that you don't wind up overly thrilled about. And you can save even more money by typing in code YouTube before you check out to apply a discount on your total guidebook purchases. Now, please just let me know in the comments if I'm the only one. I mean, it's just a Disney World fact, or a travel fact period at this point. If you travel during a time when tourism slows down, you'll get cheaper hotel rooms, flights, and theme park tickets, right? But if you travel during a time when tourism is through the roof or all the kids are out of school, prices get to be about as sky high as the crowds. Ticket prices tend to spike up closer to the holidays, on the weekends, or during specialty events when Disney knows there's going to be a huge crowd come in and a lot of demand, like during Run Disney races or spring break season. And to be fair, Disney doesn't exactly hide these fluctuating ticket prices from you. You just have to do a little extra research on your end to find out which days have hotel rooms and park tickets marked up or marked down, because the crowds are going to follow along. Or you can get a reliable travel agent like our friends at Small World Vacations to do that research for you for free. Here, I'll add their link down in the description in case you want to reach out to them for a free quote. But here's the thing, if you have the extra vacation wiggle room, then sure, doing the research to find out which travel days are going to cost you less money can be a great way to plan out your trip. Not everyone's got that luxury though of packing up the whole family and traveling during non-peak season time to get a cheaper getaway. I mean, that's why non-peak season travel times like back to school season and post-spring break are considered non-peak seasons. They're just not convenient for most of us. So I guess more than anything, this might not be a hidden extra cost, but rather an unavoidable one. Or is it? Disney is constantly adding new promotional opportunities to their special offers page, like all the time, even for those peak season times. So before you just accept sticker shock defeat, try looking on this webpage first to see what offers might be available for you. They've always got something. Don't ever pay rack rate for your hotel room. This I say all the time, my friends. Just recently, we've seen deals that are going to save you 20% on rooms, even during the holiday season, or save you 25% on rooms for next spring. Or kind of like we teased before, there's also a 2026 deal where most vacation packages that include hotel room and park ticket will give kids ages 3 to 9 a free Disney dining plan if you decide to go the DDP route. So yeah, the moral here is to never, ever, ever pay full price for your Disney World vacation, because there's bound to be a way to save some money on it somewhere. As much as I enjoy Disney World's free transportation services and appreciate them greatly, I also enjoy the freedom of being able to leave Epcot, swing by McDonald's to pick up a quick McChicken, and then drive myself the rest of the way to Disney Springs. What I don't enjoy is having to pay for the privilege of having a car with me all trip long. For starters, there's the fact that you've got to refill your car with gas, not a fan of Orlando's gas prices. And then there's the potential parking fee that I got to pay per night if I stay at a hotel that's not owned by Disney. You don't necessarily have to pay for nightly parking at all non-Disney hotels, but it is a high probability, whereas Disney World isn't charging you right now for staying with them. And then there's the added fact that on the rare occasion you're not a Disney hotel guest or an annual pass holder, you'll have to pay for parking when you drive to the theme parks, which costs an extra $30 per day. But when it comes to my own travel habits, there's a higher chance that my biggest travel expenses are going to be split between a rental car, since I'm flying in from Texas and I don't really want to rack up all those miles on my own set of wheels, and ride shares for when I get tired of driving myself around, or I'm late for a meeting, which is more likely. Even if you like to be your own chauffeur, or at least have a private Uber or Lyft ride on occasion, I'd still encourage you to take advantage of Disney World's free transportation services any chance you get, even as a non-Disney hotel guest. Disney buses, monorails, boats, and Skyliner are free for anyone to use, so even if you start your day driving over to Disney Springs to maybe grab some brunch and do a little shopping, you can always hop on a Disney bus to the next Disney resort. Sometimes I like to hop on whatever resort bus comes first, just to add a little spice to my day, and then maybe take another bus if you want to hop over to one of the parks from there. Just don't lose track of where you've parked if you do a lot of Disney transportation hopping during the day. You will have to backtrack eventually, and you're going to want to make sure to backtrack before the place where you parked actually closes. Bria and I have both done that before and had to figure out how to convince someone to take us over and let us in to get our cars. Okay, some hidden costs of Disney are completely within our control. Remember my soda goblin tendencies and Dole Whip obsession. Yeah, that's on me. But then there are the hidden costs that you can't control. And this is when life throws you curveballs in the middle of vacation that are going to make you have to pay for a tire change or over-the-counter medication or an extra night at your hotel because your flight got canceled or something super unfun like that. I know I'm starting to sound like a broken record here, but I really want to emphasize how important it is to save safety net money in case you need to fall back on it for whatever reason, because sometimes that reason is a really, really, really expensive one. When it comes to emergency expenses, I like to save at least an extra $200 before my trip, but that's just an estimate, not necessarily, a given cost. You can adjust that safety net budget to fit your own plans and comfort levels. But the best thing about creating these safety nets, anything that you don't spend from them means you've got extra cash on hand to use towards something more fun later on. A win-win. Many of the hotel rooms in the Disney World resorts can look near identical on the inside with the same amount of square footage, but one could still end up costing you way more per night than another. Why? It's all about location. Depending on where your room is situated, as well as your window view, you might have to pay more for the luxury of where you're situated. Now, some room location upgrades are a little more obvious. Like, yeah, sure, those theme park views at the deluxe resorts, of course, will cost me a couple extra $100 per night, just because I'm going to be able to watch the theme park fireworks from the comfort of my hotel room all vacation long. But then there are those preferred room upgrades, which are a little less obvious because they're less about the room view and more about the convenience. These preferred rooms will get you closer to the resort's main amenities, like the lobby, the restaurants, the feature pool, the gift shops, and transportation stops. And you know what? That can be worth the extra cost, especially if you're planning on staying at a sprawling resort and you don't want to be caught way off in the back building, away from all the resort action, where you'll have to make a massive trek to get to literally anything. Yeah, try to fill up your refillable mug then. While rooms can be upgraded from a standard to preferred status at any and all of Disney resorts, I will say it's significantly cheaper to upgrade your room at the value resorts, hence the name, especially at the 3 all-star locations where you're going to be paying about an extra $25 per night if you go the preferred route. And I think it's very, very, very worth it. Since the value resorts are super spread out, a standard room at one of these hotels could potentially place you in a building on the opposite end of where the lobby and bus transportation is located. So this $25 hidden cost could actually save you if you choose it versus the standard option, or at least save your feet. And the dreaded no-show fees. Heed this warning and learn from my mistakes. If you're not planning on going to the Disney restaurant you booked reservations for, cancel it before it's too late. For most Disney World table service restaurants, guests have until 2 hours before their reservation to cancel that reservation, free of charge. And yes, you should take that cancellation policy seriously because guests that no-show for their dining reservations will be charged a fee of $10 per guest on the reservation. So if you got 4 people going and nobody shows up, it's going to be $40 out of your wallet. And if no one's ever told you this, let me be the first to say, $10 per guest adds up really, really fast. So be sure to plan your day around your dining reservations instead of leaving those ADRs as an afterthought. There are a few restaurants and experiences that do have different, much more strict cancellation rules, so let's go through all the cancellation exceptions pretty quickly here. For Cinderella's Royal Table at Magic Kingdom, you got to abide by the 2-hour cancellation rule or you'll have to pay the full cost of the experience, which is going to be hundreds of dollars. You'll also have to pay the full cost of your experience at Hoop-Dee-Doo Musical Review at Fort Wilderness, Sangria University at Coronado Springs, and any of the Magic Kingdom/Epcot fireworks parties if you fail to cancel your reservations in time. But instead of needing to cancel at least 2 hours before your ADR, you will have to cancel a whole day in advance to avoid these no-show fees. Now, if you've got a reservation for the La Cava experience in Epcot, which is wonderful, by the way, you'll need to cancel 24 hours before your reservation to avoid being charged a $50 no-show fee. And if you fail to make cancellations for those super swanky restaurants like Victoria and Albert's or Takumi Tay or Monsieur Paul, then you'll be charged $100 per person as a no-show fee. And that's super gross. So each of those restaurants have a different cutoff time to avoid those no-show charges. Takumi Tay is 2 days prior, Monsieur Paul wants you to make them aware 3 days prior, and Victoria and Albert's requires you to cancel 5 days prior. Okay, now that we've exposed some of Disney World's super sneaky hidden costs, how's about we warn you about some other expenses that you might come across during your upcoming vacation? Go ahead and check out our video for what I wish I'd known before spending my money in Disney World next. And don't forget to pick up our free DFB planning worksheets today over at disneyfoodblog.com/DisneyPlans. They're really great and everybody likes them and I hope you do too. Thanks for listening everyone and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog and we'll see you real soon.